All right, shalom, Israel. Lamar coming back at you. Another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shah. Right? And of course, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rekakadash. I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of the house of David, who's been ruling well through the spirit for decades and decades. Shalom. All right, it's going to be a quick lesson, right, on the book of Revelations, chapter 7, verse 9. Slovakia. Book of Revelations, chapter 7, verse 9. Right, and we're going to read it. We're going to get right into it, man. Right, and it said, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man can number, of all nations, kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, right? Right. So, brothers and sisters, heathens, we pull this and say, well, everybody is being saved in the scripture, right? Because it said a great multitude that don't make a number of all nations, right? So they insert everybody in here, right? But we're going to go into the word kindred. All right, and it means fule, right? And it's a tribe in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, right? So it's dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And if you really want to get, further context on that, right, you can read verse 1. Matter of fact, I'll go to we can read from verse 1. It said, after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, right? And the wind represents the destruction, right? When you read Jeremiah 51:1, right? So they holding back the 4 winds, right, from the 4 corners of the earth, the angel on each 4 corners of the earth, holding back the destruction. That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, right? And he cried with a loud voice of the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and sea. And this angel saying, hey, hold on. Do not release the winds, right? Do not release it. Do not hurt the earth, right? For the elect has yet to be sealed, right? So this is going into the sealing of the elect, right? And we're going to read a couple more, read down to get the context on that. Verse 3, it says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads, right? So this is a spiritual mark, right? Going into Ezekiel chapter 9, right? Revelation the 14th chapter, right? So he's saying, hey, do not destroy, do not bring judgment upon the earth until the elect has been sealed, right? And that's what we're doing on the highways and byways. We're trying to, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, we're trying to seal the elect, man. That's what we're doing. We out there to wake up the elect, the hopeful elect, man. Right? Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of who? The children of Israel. All right, now we went into verse 9, we went into kindreds, and it's going into the 12 sons, the tribe, the 12 sons of the patriarch of Jacob, right? So it's going into the 12 tribes of Israel, all right? And then we read verse 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to verse 9. It's going into the east tribe, right? Getting sealed of the elect, 12,000 from each tribe, right? Also, what you can do is, okay, so why is it saying of all nations, kindreds, of the earth, right? Because you got to understand that the Israelites were scattered into all nations, right? There's Acts, Acts 2 and 5, and it said, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, right? When you are a devout man, you are one that fears Yahweh, man, right? You are one that fears the Most High. How do you fear the Most High? Right. Matter of fact, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Right. What's wisdom? Wisdom is the law, statute, and commandments. Right. So the only way you can fear the Most High is by what? Keeping His commandments. Out of every nation under heaven. So you had all these Jews coming to Jerusalem, right, for the Passover, right, which is a requirement according to the law, right, and they were all speaking in different languages, right, but they were able to understand each other because they were speaking in tongues, right. Speaking in tongues, be able to understand different languages or able to speak in a different tongue, right. So you had all these Jews coming from different nations of the earth, right? And they came to one place. And that's that great multitude, man. Right? You got Isaiah. Isaiah 11:11, and it says, it should come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall send his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Paphros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Right? Remember, the angels holding back the four winds. Right, because the elect is being sealed throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. Let's get Matthew 24. Let's see what I want to start. All right, verse 30, and it says, "It shall appear. Then shall appear the Son, Salakia. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from what? From the four winds, from one end of the heaven into the other." Right? Where are the four winds? The destruction that the Most High is going to bring on the earth. So before these four winds can be released, the Yahweh Shah with his holy angels is going to gather the elect. Then the judgment is going to come. Right? Let's get James 1:1. It's to prove that before the more that the Israelites in all nations. Right? It's the book of James 1:1. It say, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Anawan Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. All right, you got John 7:35, man, right? That we're going to teach the Gentiles among the Gentiles, right? You have a plethora of the precepts that can prove that the Israelites were scattered, right? But I also want to get this precept. And I want to close out with this because you got to understand that Esdras, right, which is Ezra in the Old Testament, he had this vision first before John the Revelator, man. All right, so we're gonna start at verse number 33. Right, it say, "I Esdras received a charge of the Lord, right, upon Mount Horeb, that I shall go into Israel. But when I came into them, they set me at naught and despised the commandments of the Lord," right? Which made them Gentiles, which made them what? Heathens, right? Because they was in all these different nations, keeping the customs of the other nations. They were living like the heathen. For another example, right? How we are in America. You have our people thinking they're African Americans. Right, you got some people just think they're plain American, and what they're doing, they're keeping the customs, the religions, right, the traditions of this place. They're living like Americans, right? And therefore I say unto you, O heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd, right? He called the Israelites heathens, and he shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand that shall come into the end of the earth. Be ready for the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Flee the shadow of this world, receive the joys of your glory. I testify my Savior openly, right, which is Yahushua. Oh, receive the gift that is given you. Be glad, giving thanks unto him that have called you to the heavenly kingdom. Right, going into the kingdom, right, going into the great multitude. It's about to explain it. Arise and stand. Behold, the number of those that are sealed in the feast of the Lord, the elect, which are departed from the shadow of the world, have received glorious garments of Yahweh. Take thy number, O Zion, and set up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of Yahweh. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Percease the power of Yahweh, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Right? Hallowed means to be sanctified, be set apart. I saw upon Mount Zion a great people, which I cannot number, and they all praise Yahweh with sons. Right? So this great multitude, right, that which he cannot number, right? Because you have all these Israelites coming from different parts of the world, man. Right? They're speaking different languages. Right? They're looking, some of them look like the other nations. And in the midst of them was a young man of high stature, right, which is Yahushua, right, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, right? It's that incorruptible crown, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said, that these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now they are crowned. Now are they crowned and receive palms, right? Saying the same thing Revelations the 7th chapter is saying, 7 and 9, right? They're receiving the palms in their hand, right? And then said I the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hand? And he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of Yahweh, who they have confessed in the world. And then began I greatly command them that stood so stiffly in the name of Yahweh. Then the angel said to me, go thy way and tell the people of what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen. Right? So this is the same context, the same vision that John the Revelator had. Right? So Revelation 7 and 9, the whole chapter is talking about the Israelites, man. Right? The Israelites being scattered. They're coming from different parts of the world, looking like the other nations, speaking like the other nations, talking like the other nations. Right? Different languages. Right? This is not talking about all nations. That great multitude that couldn't be numbered is talking about the Israelites. And it's the elect being sealed of the 144,000, which can only be the Israelites. Right? And I want to get this last precept. Right. Right, this is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4. It says, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name, I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Right, so Israel is the elect. Right, only Israelites, so-called Black, Spanish, Native Indians, can only be of the elect. Right, it's plain upon tables. All right, so I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. All right, Lord willing, brothers and sisters are edified through the Spirit. All right, Shalom, Shalom.